It is no longer judged by the environment, even though environment matters. It is no longer judged by the size of the building, even though size gives a sense of worth and esteem. Neither is it the aesthetics. Aesthetics matter. Or is it the arrivals of pupils journeying from home to school? Those journeys may be cramped, repetitive, and monotonous. It's not about the journey. Trees are symbolic. Trees symbolize nourishment, growth, transformation, and fruitfulness. In particular, the evergreen tree is a sign of immortality, a sign of life, wisdom, longevity. This is the school. The school is all about what is taught, how it is taught, the impact it will have on the taught. It's about Christ-centered education. For students to flourish and for schools to be Christ-centered, certain conditions need to be met. First, there is need for a paradigm shift from the traditional classroom setting. The four walls are important, and we could say it provides to a certain degree some psychological safety. The blackboard grants focus. A timepiece is important for managing time. The globe gives a sense of inclusivity, and you could say one has to be grateful for a table with some writing materials. But then a school setting that has the teacher in front of the class, standing with a book, dictating to the students, is like a sage on the stage rather than a guide by the side. And the students would obviously be distracted or anything but engaged with the lesson. Schools have to be transformational, flipping the traditional classroom on its head. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Tessy Okafor, and I'm the Director of Cardan UK Limited. I'll be speaking to you about the conditions for human flourishing. Now, in teaching and learning, loads of changes are taking place. From the historic 3 R's of learning, reading, writing, and arithmetic, instructions is now taking a new turn. And this is what we call the 10 C's of teaching and learning. The 10 C's are collaborative learning, creativity and innovation, critical thinking and problem solving, character, content, cross-curricular learning, curiosity, and cultural understanding. For the purposes of this conference, I'll be addressing cross-curricular learning. And the reason for doing this is to demonstrate that making our schools Christ-centered is not out of step with important changes taking place to improve the quality of teaching and learning. My topic, which is conditions for human flourishing, was picked from Pope Benedict's address to Catholic bishops in 2012 when he talked about defending God in the public space. And I thought that that phrase really captures what I'd like to say, because, our students have to have a comprehensive learning which encompasses content, pedagogy, and the essence of being. And so we have to look for a way to help them see the connection between different subject matters. And that is the way to engage them. Not only engage them, but to ensure that the learning is robust and also helps them flourish. So in the next couple of slides, I'll explain exactly what I mean. Go.
Asia and Europe. He's got Asia and Europe. In his hands, he's got Africa, Australia. In his hands, he's got North and South America. In his hands, he's got the whole world in his hands. He's got 6 huge continents. In his hands, he's got 6 huge continents. In his hands, he's got 6 huge continents. South corner of the globe. Yes, it is. It's at the south corner of the globe. Yes, it is. It's at the south corner of the globe. Yes, it is. Come and play.
The class you just witnessed was a geography class, and you can see how the teacher used a song, a religious song, to teach geography and to draw the students' attention, the pupils' attention to God, the omniscience and omnipotence of God. And this is a nursery class, but this cross-curricular teaching that enables you to infuse Christ into the lectures can be done at any level, at secondary and even at tertiary level. Now, looking back at the geography class again, the content was about the continents of the world, but she infused it with doctrine about God who's got the whole world in his hands. You can see the creativity and innovation around the learning. Because the learning is experiential, the students are using their hands to form the globe and using their fingers to point to the position of a continent on the globe. And using a popular song, they are mastering the names of the continents of the world, and learning is fun and engaging. The classroom environment is vibrant, and the teacher guides the pupils from the side. She's not the sage on the stage, standing in front of the class and reading from a book or instructing the pupils. She's in the midst of the pupils and guiding them from the side. So cross-curricular is a very natural way of bringing Christ into the classroom in an organic way that is not artificial. Geography, but they're also learning about religion, mathematics, music, and you can see multiple intelligences is at work through the differentiation in the teacher's manner of teaching. Using cross-curricular as a concept in learning is the most important way of making the lessons Christ-centered. And rather than pushing the boundaries of subject compartmentalization to the extreme, we can actually show pupils through a multidisciplinary learning how to keep Christ at the core of human development and not at the fringes. When you do this, you're helping the young pupils to integrate learning experiences into their own scheme of meaning. And that way you deepen their understanding about Christ and about the world. And you also get them to connect the dots because they begin to see how they can use knowledge in an organic way. Learning is no longer prescribed. It's much similar, to the stories that our grandmothers used to tell us. The story about the tortoise. And at the end of the day, there's often a moral lesson contained in that story of a tortoise. This is what I mean. Making the connections in the classroom. Fostering meaning through critical thinking and collaboration, because you're getting all the C's, the 10 C's we mentioned are actually at work, even though the aim is at cross-curricular or multidisciplinary learning, all the C's are at work. And so this is the way we deepen their knowledge about Christ and their knowledge about God and the world, and helping them to connect the dots in a very natural way. These are but a few examples of how you can make your lesson Christ-centered. There is a lot of interconnectedness amongst different subject areas, and these subject areas can be infused with doctrine. It just requires a little bit of creative thinking on the part of the teacher. Regardless of the subject you're teaching, even if it is Macbeth in literature, you can demonstrate how Macbeth is a pawn of fate or an agent of free will. But at the end of the day, they need to understand that even if he was predestined, as the witches had predicted, Macbeth still did not make good use of his free will. And that's an opportunity to discuss freedom as given by God. So there are always ways to bring in doctrine, to bring in formation, to bring in other subject areas that are related to the subject that you're teaching, so that you can give the children a wholesome experience. Thank you so much for listening.